Are we here, guys? Are we here? Are we here? I'm pretty sure we're here. You should be able to get me on another stream now. I'm live. I'm live. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hey guys, hey guys. Sorry it took me a minute. It took me a minute. I'm sorry. I was getting a bit frustrated, but I held it together. I held it together. Hi, Maxine. Hi, Weena Marie, Louis, Leah. Bad girl. Death Pony. How you doing, guys? Hey, hey, hey. Good evening from Scotland, my favorite country in the whole wide world. Where in Scotland are you? It's all good. Kitty, kitty, bang, bang. I'm here. I'm here. Pin a rose on your nose. So what do you think, guys? You think he's going to get the unalivement penalty? For your first time much. Thank you so much for I had a good time. I had a good time on Sir Morbid show. I definitely had a good time. I really did. And I love that Nina was on there. Not far from Glasgow. All right, all right. Ayrshire. I've been to Glasgow. I prefer Edinburgh. Don't get mad. Don't get mad. Glasgow's a little bit more contemporary, a little bit more urban. It doesn't seem to have, it's not as old. It doesn't look as old. I love the old architecture of Edinburgh. And I don't speak I don't speak Glaswegian. Is that how you say it? Like there is a different accent there. But all of Scotland is good. I'll take any part of Scotland and say thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. Good evening, Hilda Norway. How you doing? Hello from Berlin, Germany. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Dundee, Laura, and Gary watching again. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Stephanie, you're here. Oh my gosh, was it hard for you? Because it was hard for me to get online. Grateful Graham is back. Leave your DNA in case we need to find you. Thank you so much, Pin a Rose on your nose. Hello from Northern Ontario. Death Pony's back. Evansville, Indiana. Berlin. Berlin. Yo, pulled pork sandwich. Oh man, I want some. I want some pulled pork sandwich. Pulled pork sandwich, guys. Who's got that? Jamie. Jamie Duncan. Where you live, Jamie? We're coming. We're coming. Oklahoma, Montreal. I'm glad I remembered to watch. What will he get? What I was asking you guys, do you think I am trying to get my 7-year-old to sleep? Do you think that he's going to get the death penalty? I don't want to wake up the kid. Hello, Sizzle 74. Sizzle 74, Northeastern Ontario here. Canada. Whoop, whoop, Canada. LWOP. What does that stand for? I have earplugs. Oh, okay. Then I'll yell. I'm joking. I'm a joking. Holly Jolly, how is the champ today? Yes, he's going to get the death penalty. Life without parole. Well, he's definitely got that. I mean, he's definitely got that. So you don't think he's going to get the unalivement penalty? You think he's just going to get the we're just going to pay for him forever and ever and ever? I'm processing tomato. Guys, I got tomatoes. Like, no lie, I've got fresh tomatoes. I kid you not. Have I got fresh tomatoes? Tennessee. What part of Tennessee? One of my very best friends lives in Tennessee, Memphis. She lives in Memphis. Let's take the trash out with Wade Wilson. Yes. Yes, he's a piece of garbage. New Jersey tomatoes are the best. Mine are New York tomatoes. New York tomatoes. He has no remorse and he's still trying to date there. You see that, right? Just left the Memphis. I've been to Memphis. I've been to Nashville, Knoxville, Tennessee. That's nice. I've been there. 45 years. He's going to get more than 45 years. He's at least he's either going to get life or death. I don't think that there's anything else. Oh, you've been living there for 45 years. I'm so stupid. I don't know. I feel he's a serial killer. Yes, he is a serial killer. Absolutely. And on his way to killing more. I think so. Thank you for my super sticker. Thank you so much, guys. I hope to see his afterlife. Tomatoes in the yard. Come visit me in Alaska. I've been to Alaska. I was on a cruise. I have a friend that lives there too in Kodiak. Outer Banks. That's nice. Oh, here we go, guys. Here we go. Tell the hostess with the mostest to shut her mouth and listen up. That'd be me, guys. Karen, that's my name. Glad you're here. Claim I'm innocent? But you're not. Thank you. Jana Bradenhand. Thank you from South Africa. Back again. Thank you for joining us again. Thank you. Sky, I love your little emojis. Let's go, Duncan says. Jamie Duncan says, let's go. I love you guys too. You guys have changed my life. Thank you for that. I'm so ready for justice as well. Come on, people now. I think that there should be the impact statements. Let me ask you guys a question. Didn't you find it weird that we already heard from the adopted parents, like in the middle of the two doctors? We heard from the adopted parents. Why did that letter come into play between the two doctors? Did you notice that? Like, there's usually victim impact statements, then there's usually statements from the family, right? But in the middle of the two doctors was a letter from the adoptive family. Does everybody have what they're eating, drinking, and smoking? Listen, guys, you think I don't listen to you, right?
Good afternoon. Please be seated.
You guys told me alkaline water. I'm trying it. Icelandic.
All right. Well, let me take
Victoria,
care
we're
of
not
first
taking
things
roll.
first
You're
that I
good,
think I gotta
babe.
take
You're
care of
good.
first. So
Let's listen up, guys.
one thing in housekeeping, there was a thumb drive that was presented evidence in the Spencer hearing this morning, and let's record reflect states present, defense counsel, and defendant present. You can
Oh, he's
see.
going to talk. Nope.
Has that been submitted to the clerk?
Mr. Charming's in the house. Mr. Charming's in the house. Hungry alligators are waiting. I like the way you think. Pin a rose up your nose.
I think it was made part of the record and referred to, so I think it's been identified. I would just, yes.
Let's go.
And when we left at the end of the Spencer hearing, the defense indicated they had further argument and potentially wanted to talk to Mr. Wilson about presenting anything further regarding the Spencer hearing.
We don't have any further evidence to present.
I want it to be louder.
We can inquire of Mr. Wilson if you would like, but he has elected not to provide any testimony.
Sunflower.
So this time the defense does
pistachio
not have anything
nuts.
further regards to Spencer hearing.
We do not, Your Honor.
All right, is that correct, Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. Then you did indicate you had some argument in regards to sentencing.
I do.
All right.
But we need to approach.
Okay.
I got the alkaline water because you guys told me to try it. Somebody told me to try that liquid IV, but I want to send it to the person that told me to try it because it's too sweet for me and it was expensive, so I don't want to throw it away. This alkaline water is from Iceland and it's also a natural spring water. I like natural spring water. There he is, Mr. Gorgeous, Prince Charming. Oh man, I hope you feel better with your ear because that's painful. I have ear problems because I have that weird nerve damage there. That nerve, you know what I'm talking about, OCCI something nerve. I keep getting shots in the ear. I'm not getting any more because that really hurt last time. I don't feel better. Let's go, guys. Come on. Toddy, shut up.
For the sidebar, no, Mr. Wilson didn't approach, but waiving his ability to be up here at the sidebar. And I'll just say what was said, that basically this morning we had the Spencer hearing. At the end of the Spencer hearing, defense counsel indicated they may have further argument and wanted to speak with Mr. Wilson regarding any other potential testimony. We recessed until 2 o'clock this afternoon. And so the court came back in to see if there was any further evidence or testimony, which appears there's not. And if there was any further argument regarding sentencing. Subsequent to that, I will take another recess, and then we'll come back for the court to issue a sentencing order at that time. So that's procedurally where we are.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So is there any further argument then?
Yeah, you want to get voting?
Yes.
Judge, briefly, you've heard all of the evidence, the testimony in the case. On behalf of myself, Mr. Hollander, Ms. Perez, Mr. Wilson, we want to thank you for your consideration. Mr. Wilson's sentence in this case. We understand that when a jurist takes the bench, we hope you don't have to make a decision like this. But we know that Your Honor has paid close attention. You've considered the law, you've considered the facts, the evidence, and you're going to render the decision that you think is just. Obviously, it's either sentence is a terrible sentence. The sentence of death is worse in that if there is a mistake along the way and we can't correct that mistake, we can't correct the sentence after it's imposed. We'd ask that the court consider the 3 statutory mitigators: the capacity of the defendant to appreciate the criminal nature of the conduct or to conform that conduct to the requirements of the law was substantially impaired. Obviously, you've heard testimony that he consumed quantity of controlled substances. He described it to the officers, said it basically made him almost insane. Defendant requires specialized treatment for mental disorder that is unrelated to substance abuse or addiction or for a physical disability, and the defendant is amenable to treatment. We don't know what kind of treatment that's going to be on death row. We know that he needs treatment. There's testimony to the fact that he's been on treatment. He's been on the same treatment.
Don't waste your money.
throughout his stay in the Department of Corrections and in the Lee County Jail. He needs that medication. He needs that treatment. Defendant cooperated with the state to resolve the current offense or any other offenses. I'm sure the court recalls that Mr. Wilson provided a statement to law enforcement. At the time he provided the statement, he was not aware that they had located the second victim. He was doing that in an effort to assist the victim's family.
But he
They had
then
already
said he didn't do
located
it.
the second victim, but he didn't know that. He provided them with details that, but for his statement, they would never have known. We have
He said he
non-statutory
didn't do it.
mitigating circumstances. Defendant was born to drug-addicted teenage parents. The defendant's biological mother suffered mental illness. Defendant's mental illness presented at age 12 and was precipitated by puberty and substance abuse. Defendant was diagnosed bipolar disorder and I call it schizophrenia. It's a little bit different diagnosis.
Fucking trash,
Defendant
Wade
is
Wilson.
loved by
Fucking
his adoptive
trash.
parents, Candy and Steve Wilson, who has provided a statement to the court. Defendant is loved by his sister, which was reflected in the statement read to the jury. Defendant was profoundly affected by being abandoned by his biological parents.
He wasn't abandoned by
He's
them.
been a loving son to his adoptive parents, as reflected in the statement read earlier today. I remind the court that the jury's recommendation was 9-3 for one victim and 10-2 for the other. Under their previous
Fry him up.
statute, that would have
Fry him
required this
up.
court sentence my client to life. Likewise, I would remind the court that Mr. Wilson has been waiting trial for a long time. The unfortunate death of his previous counsel prolonged the litigation and impacted Mr. Wilson greatly. I point out to the court, lastly, obviously the court has received, and I know that you haven't read them because
He was raised
I
very
have
well and he was
received
loved.
notification from your office that these letters have been received by your office, but I know that the court would not read an ex
He wasn't
parte
abandoned.
communication.
You're right.
That the letters have been sent back to us, but obviously there are.
That's
people
right,
that
Nina.
have
We don't give a
been
damn.
for Mr.
Nina's in the
Wilson's
house.
life
Flawless
that the
Nina,
court's
guys.
missing.
Show some
There are
love.
some 40,000 people that have signed petitions to that effect. We'd ask the court to take into consideration that death is permanent. Death is different. And we're asking the court to impose 2 life sentences.
They should do better with microphones there.
Steve?
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon.
I'd like to point out, and I agree with defense counsel, that death is in fact permanent. Christine Melton was 35 years old. Diane Ruiz was 43 years old. Both of their deaths were permanent. Back in June, when this court heard the facts and circumstances of this particular case surrounding the deaths of Ms. Melton and Ms. Ruiz, this court should have learned that this case was nothing more than power, control, and violence that led to
Hey, Gracie.
Mr. Wilson's decisions were not only pitiless and consciencelessness, but they amounted to tragically reducing Ms. Melton as well as Ms. Ruiz to nothing more.
Where are their
than
microphones?
photographs to not only their families, but also to their friends. The only reason why that happened was because they both encountered Mr. Wilson. The state, back in July, went ahead and prepared a sentencing memorandum for the court to consider. The reason why the state did that, Judge, was because the state wanted the court to be aware and point out specifically the facts and circumstances supporting the aggravating circumstances and factors that the jury considered in this particular case, and that the jury specifically found proven beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt. Specifically, the jury is the one that found that Mr. Wilson was previously or contemporaneously convicted of another capital felony or of a felony involving the use or threat of violence to the person. That particular fact, an aggravating factor, was established throughout the course of this trial by virtue of the verdict that was rendered by this jury when they found Mr. Wilson guilty of both counts of first-degree felony murder and first-degree premeditated murder. Secondly, Judge, the jury found beyond to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt that the capital felony was committed by a person previously convicted of a felony and under a sense of imprisonment or placed on community control or on felony probation. Once again,
You're good, Julie.
this court, as well as this jury, received testimony, not only by virtue of receiving certified court roll prints, a certified copy of conviction as business records, but also received the testimony from our crime scene tech who conducted the fingerprint analysis and determined that Mr. Wilson was in fact one and the same of the individuals.
Doesn't his eyes kind of look
convicted
bloodshot
of
though?
felonies that
Seriously,
being
doesn't it
trafficking,
look like
stolen
he was
property, and false
crying or something?
information
I'm
to
not
the
trying.
pawnbroker
I want him to get the
18th of September
penalty.
of 2019.
But doesn't it look like
That
his
was less than
eyes,
a month
like,
before these murders occurred.
seriously?
That was established beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt, and the jury concurred unanimously on both of those. Capital felony was especially heinous, atrocious, and cruel. Judge, this particular factor screams for justice. The
He does look high.
homicides
He
by
really does
which
look high.
Miss Melton and Mr. Ruiz died at the hands of Mr. Wilson sets this case apart from normal capital felonies because, once again, it's conscienceless and it's pitiless. And it's unnecessarily torturous to both Miss Ruiz as it was to Miss Melton. You heard about the fingernails being broken, the many bruises to their bodies.
Yes.
Of the face,
He got
the
caught
swollen
smuggling
eyes,
drugs
the
in jail
contusions, the
with some
bruising
woman
all over the
named
torso
Bunny,
and
I think,
arms,
right?
the hemorrhages on both sides of the neck, the scalp bruising, the contusions to the lungs, contusions to the liver, to the back of the bladder, to the colon. Her brain was swollen. That was just Miss Melton.
It is the sentencing.
And then we have Miss Ruiz. She had the fracture of the nasal bone, the laceration to her left breast, her bruising on both sides of her body, the bruising on the back of her left forearm and on the back of her left hand, the fracture of her fourth finger, the bruising on her right arm, the contusions on her upper back, the hyoid bone, the trachea cartilage being broken, the multiple rib fractures in the front and to the back. And then we have the hemorrhage.
You
on the
proud of
back
that?
neck.
6'5" Wade Wilson? That small woman
And
that
you
was
couple
sleeping?
that with the fact
Dumb
that
fuck.
Mr. Wilson went ahead and placed his hands around the necks of both of these women and allowed their lives to slip through his fingers when both of them knew they were going to die. The jury found
Who's he
that
looking at?
particular factor, Judge, unanimously.
Hey, Carissa,
Both Miss Melton
who's he looking at? You know what I'm
and Miss
saying?
Ruiz, that it was heinous, atrocious, and cruel. He overpowered them, controlled them, he silenced them by placing his hands around their neck.
Somebody ought to go over there and shake the fuck out of
Judge,
him.
we
Up, did
submit
I
to
say
you
that?
that factor should be given extremely great weight. And lastly, Judge,
The first
aggravating
woman was
factor
asleep, guys. You know that,
of
right? The
being
first
cold,
woman, he was asleep.
calculated, and premeditated.
No self-defense. She was
The jury
asleep.
found beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt.
It was a
unanimously
jury
that
trial.
this
The jury
aggravating
is
factor
over. They said the
applied to
jury
Miss Diane
wanted him
Ruiz.
dead. They found him
That evidence that was
for the death
presented beyond and
penalty.
to the exclusion
This
of
is
every
the
reasonable doubt
sentencing. If the judge is going to go ahead with the death
and
penalty,
was
that's where we're at.
corroborated by the evidence in this particular case, statement that was given.
No, he's
by
not looking at
Mr.
the
Wilson
kiosk.
himself,
Hi, Donnie,
asked her
64. Thank you.
where the high school was, and if she could
I
show
don't know
up.
who he's looking at.
He said that once he got her into the car, they'd drive to the school. He was gonna drop her off, but he knew in his mind he wasn't gonna do it. He started choking her because she started to get out of the car. You could tell that she was getting scared. He saw the fear, and then when she would not die, he pushed her out of the car and repeatedly drove over her and then attempted to dispose of her body in an empty wooded lot. Judge, that is what is precisely the sort of heightened premeditation that's contemplated by that specific factor. And we would submit to you that that particular factor also carries great weight.
Talk louder.
Litigation that defense counsel has presented to this court, we would argue counts for little weight. Not only that, but
The judge is going to either go with what the jury recommended or not. The jury recommended death. The judge has to decide if that's what he's going to do. That's where we're at.
whether it be psychological issues, whether it be
It's hard to hear,
family
period,
matters,
Donnie.
all of that has been controverted. It has not been substantiated. There was no history of brain injury. It's not documented in any of the medical records. You heard here today Dr. Rubino's testimony. You heard counter testimony from Dr. Coyne.
He
All of
does.
his
He looks
scans
like he's
were
fucked up, right? He looks like he is really messed up.
Neuroimaging
Gotta love the
studies, both pre and
jellies.
post-arrest,
Shower
indicate
shoes.
normal brain scans, although he'd have you believe that he had injuries to his brain. That is not anywhere in the record. As much as he'd like for you to believe it to be so, it is not. The review of the incarceration medical records do not indicate any type of cognitive problems whatsoever, Judge. You heard testimony
shower
by
shoes,
Dr.
Michelle.
Eisenstein. That was controverted by Dr. Hercules.
Gel shower shoes.
Dr. Eisenstein even went so far as to present evidence
$90,000
Kaplan, function system.
from the commissary.
He tested averagely, Judge. He wants to
Thank
talk
you,
about
Betty
references to his
Spaghetti.
memory, talking about that he has issues with short-term memory. That's not true. He has an ability to recount events when he wants to. He has an ability to tell stories. He has an ability to make you believe something that isn't true.
Yeah, why do you ask if I'm okay?
And interestingly enough, Judge, the neuropsychological testing results are not consistent with any type of neurocognitive disorder. Even
Yes,
Dr.
he'll be
Eisenstein's
entitled to get the
tests
money.
established that the defendant's executive
The
function,
MRI
low capability,
showed
the
two different things by two different doctors. The doctor we like said there was nothing
You haven't
wrong with
heard
this guy.
anything in this particular case
That was
as far as
before
any
this, they
sort of
did that.
mitigation that would outweigh any of the aggravating factors in this particular case. The aggravating factors should be accorded such great weight, Judge, that they were proven beyond and to the exclusion of every
Fort
doubt
Myers, he's in
counts
Fort Myers.
for the indictment as specifically found by this jury. They, Judge, support and are sufficient to warrant a sentence of death. And they are not diminished by the mitigating circumstances
Waiticus.
and are sufficient.
That's
to
jumpsuit
warrant
Pablo
a sentence of
terminology
death.
there, Waiticus.
As such, Judge, the state would respectfully request this court to recommend and impose the sentence of death upon Mr. Wilson, because not only is it deserved.
He's either in Cape Coral or he's either in Cape Coral or Fort Myers.
Anything else?
Yes, my neck is bad again.
All right. So this will conclude the Spencer hearing unless there's any other testimony or evidence that either side would want to present, especially the defense. Procedurally, my understanding is that we would take a recess at this point and then come back. And at that point that the state would want to present victim impact testimony or no?
Your Honor, I've spoken with the victim's family, and they would like to rely on what was stated at the actual trial.
Okay, so then this would be the final opportunity for the defense to present any other mitigating circumstances for the court to consider prior to coming back and issuing a sentencing order. Is there anything else that you want
We
to?
have nothing else, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, and Mr. Wilson, again.
5
your
gifted
opportunity, if
memberships,
you wish to
guys.
address
Thank
the
you,
court,
kitty, kitty,
may.
bang, bang.
No
Thank
one
you,
can
thank
force you
you.
to. No one can force you not to.
He
Is
has
there
one
anything you
kid,
would
he has
like to
a
address with
son.
the court? Okay. Then we will be in recess. It's 2:20 now. I'm going to spend some time on the sentencing order. So we will come back here at 4:00.
Why are we coming back so late? I want to. Why are we coming back so late? Guys,
Oh,
don't
another
go
question before
anywhere.
we go. I
Don't go
apologize.
anywhere.
I know the state presented a written sentencing memorandum. Did the defense, I know you presented orally your
Right, no.
sentencing arguments. Was
Right.
there anything else in writing that you
No,
wanted
sir.
to present?
Thank you.
All right. There was a PSI done. Did you all receive the pre-sentence investigation report?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And for sentencing purposes, I know that there were other charges that the jury found the defendant guilty of. If you would prepare any statutorily mandated fines, fees, or costs that are associated with those
$90,000
charges.
worth.
Do you have that? If you don't, that's okay.
I can't recite those, Judge. That's not a problem. I do
Okay.
have a score sheet as it relates to those additional charges as well.
Very well. Have you shared that to the defense?
Yes, Judge.
Any objection to that?
No, sir.
I'll accept that. All right, if there's nothing else for the court to consider, then we will recess and I will prepare a sentencing order and come back here Said what, 4 o'clock?
Thank you.
We'll be in recess.
So I don't understand why we had to leave and come back. That's my thing. Like, why do we have to leave and come back? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why? Why? They're treating it like it's some sort of soap opera or something, don't you think? Like, tell me that's not ridiculous, don't you think that that's like, what was the purpose of that? Then they're going to come back, they're going to read the impact statements, and then what? We're going to take another break? That's crazy. I got to go to work tonight. Like, come on, man. So at 4 o'clock, we're going to come back here. We're going to meet back here at 4 o'clock, guys. I know he's not worth all that time, is he? Ramirez got to enjoy. What did you write about Ramirez? I saw wait a minute. Ramirez got to enjoy the rest of his life on death row and they never get it over with. That's what, yeah. That's what, yeah. You know how much money it costs, right? Like, isn't that ridiculous? I expected to know what the hell's going on here. So now we got to come back at 4 o'clock and do it all over again. Like, I don't understand. I don't know what he's on, but he seems to be on something. So they said come back at 4 o'clock. And he's gonna, yeah, that'd be 1 o'clock Pacific time. All right, guys. So I'm gonna close my eyes for a little bit, and then I'm gonna come back at 4 o'clock so that the judge could eat good, I guess. And I don't know what Wade's gonna do. I tried to get online, just so you know, in 90 minutes. Yeah, I thank you, Holly Jolly. I just I don't know that he's on sedatives, guys. I just don't understand why they turned it into this. Like, this is like an all-day event here, you know? Anyway, I'll be back at 4 o'clock. I do have to close my eyes a little bit because I do have to go to work tonight. Hello. And yeah, I'm hoping that they do something with the microphone. Guilty of crime. How you doing, Jay? You saw me last night on Morbid. How you doing, Jay? Guys, give love. Guilty of crime. Jay from Guilty of Crime. Great channel. I had 2 great content creators come and visit me. Actually, 3. You know that YouTube Streets was on here. Yeah, I had YouTube Streets. And I had, I don't know if she's still on here. We had Nina, the beauty influencer, the prettiest girl on the internet. That'd be Nina. And now we got Jay. Superhero Jay from Guilty of Crime. That's awesome. That's awesome, guys. So yeah, so what they're gonna do is we're gonna come back at 4 o'clock. I am gonna try to close my eyes for a little bit. I really do have to work. So the memberships on this channel, it says join. Apparently it just says join. So, well, I feel loved, guys. I'll tell you that. I feel loved. I am gonna I took Danny out. She didn't go pee yet. She peed this morning, but she had me walking in circles out there. Thank you for the 99-cent super sticker, honey bun. 1 ear up, honey bun. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, guys. There she is. There she is. Nina's still here. Nina's in the house. All right, guys. I am. Okay, I keep saying it, but I am now officially going to go to sleep. And I'll see you guys at 4 o'clock. I appreciate all of you. The content creators that take time out of your day to come and show me support. Much love. Much love. I think so highly of you guys. Guilty of Crime, of Nina, YouTube Streets, AG Tactical, Sir Morbid. You guys have been really awesome. And I'm very, very grateful. So I'll see you guys at 4 o'clock. And those content creators that'll be busy doing your own thing, I'll be checking you out later. So everybody have a good one. I'm going to take a nap. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I feel loved, Carissa. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, sweet Sweetie Brookahire, thank you so much, guys. Okay, thanks.